Compared to men, women are 6 times more likely to report being raped, 5 times more likely to report being choked, 5 times more likely to require medical attention from the victimization.
The YWCA says domestic violence is the single largest women's health issue in Canada. It's a position many women are shocked to find themselves in.
When you look back at the history of the abuse, you know, you might take each incident kind of one by itself and think, oh, it's, you know, just day-to-day life, not a big deal. But when you look at it all together, and that's kind of what I did, I thought, oh no, this is a pattern. Never, ever in a million years would have thought, particularly after 13 years, that would happen.
Susan is not her real name. We've changed it to protect her identity. Her story underscores the gravity of domestic violence in our society.
You know, he kidnapped me and took me back to my home. He was actually convicted of forcible confinement and arson and assault with a weapon, kidnapping. So I basically got out of the situation myself and ran. I couldn't come back to the city of Peterborough, and they preferred that I didn't come back to Canada. So I was in the southern United States, and I had family that carefully came to see me. It continued for several years. It really wasn't resolved until 2007.
And what resolved it?
He committed suicide.
Peterborough Crossroads Crisis Line receives over 10,000 calls a year, and more than 360 women and children use shelter annually. Police say there are on average 3 reported incidents of domestic violence every day in Peterborough, and that's just the tip of the iceberg.
It is a lot, for sure. I mean, it's not a true representation, I wouldn't say, of what actually happens in the community, because we don't respond to every single incident of domestic violence. We don't hear about every single incident. And that's, I think, what a lot of the push is to try to bring the issue out in the open, to not keep it within the 4 walls, and, you know, to reach out to the victims particularly.
The Peterborough Domestic Abuse Network is doing just that with the Survivors Advisory Committee. For the first time, survivors are being given a voice in how domestic violence is dealt with in society. It will draw on survivors' experiences to tell them whether the current system is working, and if not, how to fix it.
It'll be great for PDAN, I think, as well as for the survivors. So that we can, I mean, these are people who have lived experiences, they're the experts in this, and so we can learn from them.
They've only met a couple of times, but already some problem areas have been identified.
In my situation, for instance, for legal aid, he was able to get all, you know, legal aid to help him with his defense, but because I was full-time working, I couldn't get legal aid, so I had to pay for that. And this whole situation, you know, virtually bankrupted me, because as I mentioned earlier, he was also convicted of arson. He set our home on fire. I had no insurance coverage for that because he set the fire. Hopefully this committee, the Survivors Committee, can make some changes to some of the services.
If you've experienced domestic abuse, the Survivors Advisory Committee would like to hear from you. This is your opportunity to help shape the way domestic abuse is dealt with in Peterborough. For more information, go to pdan.ca. It's completely confidential. I'm Pamela Van Meer for Healthwatch.